Welcome to episode 4 of the Monday Night War reviews. Monday Night Wars. That was technically dead because WCW bought out 6 months previous. However, stick with it for the just for the consistency. John Jacobs is back, having had a bit of a problem back home. JJ, all good in the Jacobs household now?
Nice and quiet here. No babies crying tonight, thankfully. So, touch wood, that continues.
No babies crying unless you're a WCW lifer based on this pay-per-view. Lissy, how are the lights there?
Everything is sorted.
Excellent work. So we're going to have a look at WWE Unforgiven 2001 based on I believe it's 20 years since this pay-per-view this week. It was Kurt Angle main eventing against Stone Cold Steve Austin. The pair had kind of been intertwined all through the summer. I think that was when Stone Cold got injured and we saw a lot of comedy from Kurt and Austin. Austin was pally with Vince at the stage. JJ, what do you remember of this era, Stone Cold turning heel in 2001, if any?
Stone Cold was always one of my favourites. I remember it being a very sad time. And then a bunch of people came in from WCW who I didn't really know very much about. None of the big stars who I did know a lot about seemed to arrive. And there was just a shit ton of titles flying around. It was just a very confusing time, to be honest. You had the likes of Kane and Undertaker going up against some people I'd never heard of. You had Booker T going up against The Rock, which was, cool. But and Stone Cold as a heel just, it didn't work for me.
If I'm being completely honest, I turned off by then. I was a big fan up until probably summer of 2001, where I just thought it became a little, I'm trying to work out what I was thinking as a 12, 13-year-old. It just became a bit, I didn't like Stone Cold's a bad guy. Didn't make sense to me. Why is he friends with Vince McMahon? And like you said, it's a lot of titles going on, a lot of WCW guys. Lissy, were you the same? Had you started to phase out from them? We'd had the peak of the Attitude Era, and then it was just,
Yeah, at the beginning of the invasion was kind of that time when I fell off too. I think it was just a lot. Like, I think everybody noticed there was just a lot of titles. There was a lot of belts, but it also kind of brings that precursor to the way we are today, where, the branding, we went from, the Alliance versus WWF, now we have Raw, we have SmackDown, we have NXT, and each show has their own title. So it's a little bit more organized versus back then. It was just super chaotic and confusing.
It was a bit of a free-for-all. Like I said, ECW being owned by Stephanie McMahon, just great. I mean, if you are an ECW hardcore fan and you see Stephanie there with Paul Heyman and you're like, what is going on? So it's interesting to see how stars from WCW and ECW are kind of spliced throughout, as mentioned. Kurt Angle and Stone Cold in the main event. The Rock against Booker for the WCW Championship. Rhyno and Tajiri, who I think were both brought in from ECW, going for the WCW US Champion Championship. Chris, and I think for me, the sleeper on the show was RVD against Chris Jericho for the hardcore title. We're going to start there, so we're going to miss the first 4 matches. Guys, I believe you watched a bit of this earlier. Did we miss anything out? Are we missing anything?
So I watched the first 2 matches. There was a 4-way tag team match. The Dudley Boys were there, the Hardy Boys were there. And then, again, it was kind of like you had the kind of WWF from 2 years ago, and then mixed up with some other stuff. Big Show was in there. Who else was there?
We spoke about this last time. Why was Big Show really with weird Spike stuff. Dudley?
Yeah, it was strange. It was just like they were trying to get people on the show, It was like, right, let's just chuck Big Show with Spike, big man, little man combo, chuck them in a tag team, give them a match. It was just like they were trying to force as many people in there as they could. Yeah, didn't miss much. And then what was the second match? Raven.
The second match was you got Billy Gunn against
Perry Saturn.
The opener. There's Perry Saturn against Raven, and Christian versus Edge, and Kane and Undertaker against Kronik, which was Brian Adams and Brian Clark. I think both have now passed away, which is tragically young.
Yeah, so Perry Saturn and Raven was a weird one. You had Perry Saturn, who they were trying to bury with the Moppy gimmick, and you had Raven, who they just did not care about as soon as he came in, and just like stuck him right at the bottom of the card. He was just like the jobber for everyone. So he lost to the other guy they hate, Perry Saturn with Moppy, and strange match. And then I was just starting to watch Edge and Christian, which is where we were going to start. But you said, no, we can't do Edge and Christian. You don't care about it. So.
I've got no qualms with that. I did indeed. It's weird to see the trajectory of both, because you could see then that Edge was always going to be the bigger star, and Vince really didn't care for Chris. What do you call him? Creepy little bastards.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to save everybody's time here and move straight on to Chris Jericho and RVD, two guys who are still going at a high level today. So, JJ, tell us where your computer is currently paused at.
I'm at 1:10:51. I can see Booker T's fifth like this, talking to Shane McMahon. They're getting themselves psyched up in the back because they're teaming up against The Rock for the WCW title. So you got a couple of promos before the RVD Chris Jericho match. 1:10:51.
And Booker was really thrown at the deep end. He had a big program with Austin immediately. I think he attacked The Rock. Again, very vague memories of the summer of 2001. I remember them fighting in like a church, fighting in a supermarket. I'm sure like one of them, I think Booker T went to, was he in like Confession? And then Stone Cold came in and then whooped his ass.
Yeah.
It's really funny stuff. And then so Booker's really been thrown in against the top guys, but I can't remember him going over once in about 6 months. So we'll see how it goes. But if you want to click play, we will count that down in 3, 2, 1, 1:10:51, and Booker T and Shane McMahon. And I always wanted one of those Shane O'Mac jerseys so badly.
I'll get you one for Christmas.
It was a go-to move for me now to bring out the Shane O'Mac skip. Which way did he go?
Subtitles not working for me. It's breaking my heart.
Who'd have thought Taz here as well in 20 years' time would be the biggest boy popper on national television?
Mm-hmm.
Like that one line from Dynamite last week. What do you think you had? You going to take my job? Punk, you think you're big man?
You've seen that they're going to have Ricky Starks permanently on Rampage commentary now.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
official.
He was on a podcast this week and he mentioned that it's like a permanent role for him, which is good. I thought it was good.
Wow, Stephanie is that's some luck for Steph. That's quite a perm.
She's on the look for RVD. There was a little segment with her on RVD earlier where she was being very nice to him.
This must have been quite just narrowly after the boob job, right?
I'm
sure Chris Jericho, I remember doing a promo saying let the boobies hit the floor. And the Rock taking shots.
Vintage late 90s, early 2000s. She always had her hair crimped. I didn't like it back then. I don't like it now. And you guys know I love her.
When I was 11, she was the hottest person to me. So, till Trish arrived.
You watch how good she is in these segments, right? She's so Vince.
Yeah.
She is. 100%.
Lissy, she's one of your favorites, right?
She is my absolute favorite. What are you talking about? I love Stephanie. I told you my group of like cousins and friends, like I'm Stephanie in that group. They call me Stephanie. I love that for myself.
So Steph is basically offering herself on a plate there, and Jericho just happens to go behind. 24 here.
I loved their rivalry, these two. They were so
Jericho came out with the best lines against her.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Jericho would point out the fake hits in every best of luck. And yet you think Chris Jericho headlines WrestleMania 18 6 months later with Stephanie in his corner. Again, you mentioned about a lot was going on here. They clearly just couldn't work out any directions going.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like earlier on in the broadcast, the matches that we've skipped, I noticed that the WCW guys that just did not get much of a pop, but Rob Van Dam is massively over.
I've just put the audio on. Well, it's Pennsylvania, which is a huge heartland for ECW, obviously. They're home in nearby Philadelphia. But I love that theme as well, One of a Kind.
Yeah. One of a kind.
Sing it, JJ.
That was a proper, like, doing that all throughout high school. And
This is my guy, Tim.
you've got all the classics there. You've got the Fink doing the ring announcing. Paul Heyman and Jay was such an underrated commentary team.
Oh, yeah.
Only there for about 8 months, but they great chemistry together.
Was this when King was gone for a bit?
King was sacked. Oh no, King wasn't sacked. Miss Kitty was sacked because she was
and he
problematic. And I think he was due to come back. Ironically enough, the King was going to do commentary on. Do you know when Eric Bischoff was supposed to relaunch WCW and they lost the time slot on TNT?
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be Joey Styles. I think Joey Styles and the King, and Don Callis as a 3-man booth, which sounds really fun.
That was 3.
Jericho's in great shape here.
I love this music as well.
What's he, 30 at this time? Yeah.
20 years ago, yeah. So Chris is what, he turned 50 last year, sure. Yeah, 30 years old. And now he's completely rocking the dad bod.
He just needs to wrestle with Eric, and it's fine now.
He now just comes out wearing a leather jacket and jeans like a, proper like dad rocker. But I said these two were 2 of my guys. You go back to a certain area and like you can tell, again, we were saying about being smart, and with Raw yesterday, I was 9 years old. Weren't really included with Vince and stuff. You knew like these guys weren't the top stars. They weren't the main eventers, but they're the fun guys to watch in the ring.
Yeah.
Even as he's a young age, and that still doesn't really make sense looking back. But they were just so smooth together. And I think the pair have got a great mutual disdain for Triple H. So, there's some very heated debates yesterday, JJ, on the merits of the Click.
Okay.
Miss Jewel drop.
I'm looking forward to listening in. I don't watch too many of our shows in full because I was there. I lived it. I don't need to rewatch it, but the last night I'm gonna have to watch the full. How long were you on for? Hour and a half?
It's full hour and a half. It would just be basically saying how much I did like Shawn Michaels for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Shawn Michaels was a dick, wasn't he? Just because Lissy he's hot, it doesn't change the fact that he was a dick.
Shawn was in full 97 form as well. It was
well, we loved him.
The tight shirt, he was extra shimmy.
Yeah, he was at his
feeling
peak.
it. He was feeling it.
He was definitely at the peak of his flamboyance.
Backslide.
Where are we at in the Stephanie Triple H timeline here in real life? Is this way before?
Do it together.
In real life?
Do it together. Yeah. If you remember, so they started seeing each other late 2000s. They were put together, obviously, in November, December, due to the Little Whitechapel in Vegas. Few takes after Triple H drugged her. How all great marriages start. But I think
another thing you would never see on TV today, ever.
Explaining to the wrestling audiences of 2020 and the standard ovation from the crowd for some great 3-4 minutes of chain wrestling. But yeah, the fact that they started a marriage due to one being drugged, and so how did the family react to that? Well, obviously the dad has a match. The dad main events the next pay-per-view against him, and loses. And it was all a ruse, and Triple H and Stephanie lived happily ever after.
I was just asking because in this situation, you were mentioning that they both have a healthy disdain for Triple H. I mean, RVD must be enjoying the fact that she's there, like basically offering herself on a plate to him, and Jericho gets to just trash her fake boobs. Fun times for both of them.
First of all, I don't see why he's trashing her fake boobs. They enhanced her look, and she looks amazing.
And the thing is, you know that he's gone to her off air saying, "Do you mind if I kind of take a few shots?" Like, yeah, I like him. Say what you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring attention to them. Not a problem.
Honey, we both know they look good. You can say what you want. You can say they look shit, but come on, facts are facts. Chris Jericho playing pick a hand with Rob Van Dam. JJ, have you heard of the pick a hand stories with RVD?
No.
So RVD was always quite like a bit of a tough guy on the slide. He was too zen to really bring it out. 98, 99, Taz was obviously the guy in ECW and was always quite grumpy. And man, RVD was so great with his feet. He'd heard that Taz was having a moan about him, or because during that time RVD was the television champion, and that match was generally the biggest. It was the most well-received match on the show. Him and Jerry Lynn had a great series in '99.
Heard about it.
And yeah, so they were winding RVD up in the locker room, and he took Taz aside, saying, "Taz, pick a hand." What? Pick a hand. So he just points at one, slaps him in the face. Do you want to pick another hand? This is Taz, who's the ECW World Champion, the tough guy, the shooter, the shooting super, and apparently, so look, Rob, I don't have any trouble. They walked away and sorted it out. But RVD said, "I was going to beat the shit out of him. I ain't scared of him." Well, because he goes, look at me. Yeah, that's not how I roll. Someone's got a problem with me.
Yeah, that's a small guy. He's really, he's actually very short compared to other guys in the locker room.
He's tiny.
It's more the fact he was supposed to be a big, tough guy.
Yeah.
Oh, great done by Jericho.
Like one half of my face is in darkness.
You've got a little bit of the Darby Allin's going on.
I was thinking Darby Allin style. Yeah,
you can't claim to be straight edge with a glass of red wine, though. So, not quite. I always remember
JJ in the boiler room.
He's been shoved into the corner. I always remember being so surprised, having watched a lot of ECW in the 90s. RVD was given. He seemed to be given quite a push at this stage. I think he headlined it. I might thinking 2 months before, or maybe 3 months before, it was him, Stone Cold, and Kurt Angle having a triple threat. I want to say the June pay-per-view. And they were going to pull the trigger, but again, listening to Bruce Pritchard have something to wrestle. Vince just didn't see it. Vince just didn't see how he could be the top guy. Look at him. Nobody understands that. That is that hippie type stoner vibe. And yet Matt Riddle's going to be the next face of the company. So, times change.
Vince isn't always right. He's missed a few times.
A lot of times.
Great corner bump.
I honestly feel like Vince just got lucky in a lot of spots.
Got lucky with Austin. Triple H was going to be named King of the Ring, yeah. Got lucky with the screw job.
Oh. My network keeps freezing, so I might get stuck behind.
Lissy, give him a time check.
Well, I don't right now because I've got the ring of death.
122.48. I think we're all in like slightly different times. It's fine.
I'll catch up in a minute.
That's fine. 122.59, 123, 123.01. Just seen RVD kick out at 2. It's Kurt Angle. It's Rob Van Dam versus Chris Jericho for the World Wrestling Federation Hardcore Championship. And the ladders are now out, so they're going to get down to some proper action now. Big suplex onto the ladder from RVD. And
you guys missed the hardcore belt.
I love this. I loved it at the time. I mean, looking back, the Hardcore Championship rule was just a bit daft, but it fit in well. It's even weirder how badly they messed up the 24/7 title coming in. But I love this.
I hate that.
And I thought at the time it got people like Crash Holly over and people like Steve Blackman and stuff to Bob Holly. Raven was a good Hardcore champion around 2001.
Yeah, the 24.
That was it for them.
I liked the 24/7 thing.
The walls.
For the hardcore title. Nowadays, it's just trash, isn't it? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right, I've had to restart this. So let me catch up and I'll get a time check.
Okay.
Rolling Thunder into a frog splash. 1, only 2. Boston's favourite son, Tim White. Slightly slow to the count. Timmy's put on a few here from what we saw in 97. He's had a good run. The split-legged moonsault always looked amazing. And he can still do that at 50 years old. Tremendous agility from RVD.
Absolutely. You see how limber he is? He does his splits, everything.
Have you seen his any of his extracurricular activity?
I've seen all of his extracurricular activities. They're very
And the man's out there living his best life.
Are you subscribed to his girlfriend's OnlyFans?
I am not
Does she have
subscribed to
OnlyFans?
anyone's OnlyFans, JJ.
Oh, okay.
JJ, you trying to get Jack in trouble?
No one watches this.
I have girls on OnlyFans asking me to plug their stuff on my social channels. It's the other way around. Can you post my tits for me? I'm all right, thank you.
Right, give us the time check.
Time check is at currently 1:25, 26, 27, 28. We just had Jericho's busted open from the corner of the ladder, right on the brow of the cusp of the eye. And this Pittsburgh crowd are really getting into it now.
Beautiful.
The guy there with an interesting combination of a Cactus Jack shirt, a Cactus Jack t-shirt, lumberjack shirt, and the big gold belt, which, you know.
Oh, what a guy.
If you can't look a douche once, try and look a douche twice. Oh, great reverse. See, stuff like that, when you take into account the hardcore match like this, clever things like that, drop toe hold, throws the ladder into a corner. But no, I love this. I just saw earlier that bulldog. I thought Jericho always had one of the best bulldogs in the game because he always got them wide instead and fling them.
Fantastic.
Always one of my favorite moves to do on SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain.
I thought you were going to say on your little brother.
He was too big to throw around like that. He's a big lad. He's a bouncer. I don't know. Does that translate? Bouncer?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
It's the same.
In my head, I get Phoenix. Everything's in Phoenix Nights mode in my head. He's a doorman.
Ooh.
RVD's going up top. Let's track it because the crowd are going nuts.
Let's go. Oh, chair.
Ah. He's
It's just so dramatic.
He sells it so well.
Look, he's in Never Land.
He's incapacitated.
Oh, they're not going to do the.
The walls.
Oh my God, I forgot about that spot.
Oh
that is class.
He's not going to tap.
The walls of Jericho on top of the ladder. Is he going to do the, what's it called?
Wow.
Oh, there was a great spot in the four-way tag team match earlier where you had like four of the guys out on the outside, and then Big Show climbs to the top rope as if he's going to dive from the top rope to the outside, and they're proper building it up, and then one of the Dudley.
That was never happening.
I know, of course it wasn't, but it was like the fans are really into it. They were all on their feet like, oh my God, we're going to see Big Show dive from the top rope to the outside. Amazing.
I mean, a few years earlier it might have happened, but he was a big boy by that time.
He was always a big boy.
No,
yeah, but he was way more limber in WCW.
96, when he was world champion then in NWO, he was quite lean.
He was.
I've got clips of him doing like missile drop kicks, which is.
I was gonna say he did missile drop kicks. I'm pretty sure he could do a moonsault at that time too, but he just really started to put on the weight when he got to WWF.
And he was being mentored by Hulk Hogan. Can't slow it down, brother. Keep it nice and steady on the ground. Don't need to be doing those high spots. RVD misses with the tope suicida. Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I think they say that more than anything else on AEW, don't they?
Tope suicida.
Gallagher loves it. Just says it every 2 minutes.
You can tell, like, Tony Schiavone has never called one before in his life before AEW, and now it just pops him every week. A rare.
Jim Ross here called it the suicide dive, keeping it simple.
Suicide dive. Yeah, I got told off yesterday for doing my Jim Ross impression.
Why?
Because it's not very visually pleasing. Oh, throw it to the corner of the ring steps.
First of all, it was. He has a medical condition.
Yeah.
I'm not disparaging it. It's just it's the way to talk like JR. It's not very PC.
If you want the full effect, yes, you do have to do it.
I'm trying to read some of the signs. OS2 Hail USA, what's up? Good talk.
You're not going to get much intelligence from the signs in the crowd these days, Jack.
No.
Or ever, really, to be fair.
Yeah, at this stage, it was a whole different ballgame. It's weird to think how much money they left on the table around this time with the invasion stuff just completely tanking.
We'll know we've made it when we tune into AEW Dynamite 1 week and we see a mainly wrestling sign in the crowd.
I mean, it's never going to happen.
It's
coming. It's coming.
You need a catchphrase.
It might be me.
So that we can say it.
It's a great throwback because that was from Jericho's rivalry with Malenko in '98. Armbar. Steve Malenko was a man of 1,000 holes. So Chris Jericho was a man of 1,004 holes.
Yeah. Remember was it an episode of Raw where he just started reeling them off?
Oh, it was on Nitro.
Yeah.
A bit like how Sammy Guevara said. So Sammy Guevara would ask during the breaks, "Can I just go and do stuff for the crowd?" Jericho would do the same. So when they came back from an advert, he's there going, 984, the Saskatchewan split leg, 985, the Tijuana T-drop, whatever, just making up stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
And then throwing armbar every 5 times, every 5th.
Here comes Stephanie.
Here she comes in all her glory.
Right, you can tell the heels have gone off.
Panties.
How did she run in those shoes?
You learn, Jack. You just learn.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you.
Lissy, can you describe the attire that Stephanie's?
As much as I love RuPaul's Drag Race, I haven't tried it myself yet, so I don't know really.
Not RuPaul's Drag Race.
What? It's a great show.
Could that look be any more 2001 as well? That's just
so 2001. The crimped hair, the like semi-chunky heels.
I remember
my body strength from RVD to get into that pin. That was genius. You spot that?
Woo! And the queen is happy.
Yeah, she's getting laid tonight.
Who?
With RVD. She helps him win the title.
All right.
Will you stop?
In kayfabe, guys, come on. That's the story.
Stephanie just looked.
That was very gorilla. Did you pick that up, Jack?
I did. I missed that. What was that?
No, I said, will you stop?
Will you stop it? To be fair to Flair, that's a heck of a robe. Only a man as fair as Flair could wear a robe like that. Will you stop? Don't yell at me. Yeah,
I love them.
Great. But Rob Van Dam, the hardcore champion, successfully defends his title. 60-33. JJ, have you got star ratings for us here, or do you want me to whip them out?
I haven't got star ratings, but what we should do is do a higher lower where me and Lissy try and guess what Dave Meltzer's star ratings are.
Okay, do you want to guess for that match?
Yeah, 3.5.
Ooh. What are we guessing?
He's got 3.5. Higher or lower, Lissy?
Higher.
It was 4 stars, and it was the joint match of the night with something we will see shortly thereafter.
No, RVD. Oh, okay.
He was so young.
Rob Van Dam was just 30 years old at the time as well. No, he was 29. Yeah, 30 years old, ignore me. Mm-hmm. And currently living the dream in Las Vegas with his partner who, has got a burdening career as well. So, all good. She's got her fingers in many pies, should we say.
I used to love Shane O'Mac back in this time. He just knew if he was getting in the ring, some crazy shit was about to go down.
Yes, but at the same time, it was a little frustrating because I feel like he got too many of those opportunities where like you could actually have put someone with talent. Like, it's not a privilege to wrestle Shane McMahon.
For sure. But I was 11. I didn't care. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Of course,
he's going to dive off at like 30 foot high. It's going to be great.
What's he going to jump off?
No. He was doing ridiculous shit off the Titantron. whatever was
What I
available.
remember was, I want to say SummerSlam 2000. Was it not? I want to say 1999 SummerSlam against Steve Bachman. Was it? Oh, it was against. It was a match for Stephanie's affection. I remember it was something like that.
Do you see how valuable she is? People are fighting for her affection.
Right, I've got to whip this out because I'm sure I'm right here.
Get on the Google.
Test defeated Shane McMahon in a Greenwich Street fight at SummerSlam 99, which gave him. If Shane won, Test and Stephanie could no longer see each other. But if Test won, Shane would give him their blessing.
Why did he give their blessing?
And again, different time, pal.
You're right.
I'd love to see. A lot of this wouldn't be going on in 2021.
A lot of this would not be going on in 2010, not even 2020.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah. So there's a big promo package. I mean, Booker T looks great in a pair of. I mean, I say the word trousers, but it doesn't sound right. This was at the time as well where Commissioner William Regal was at his peak.
Fantastic.
Him and Tajiri,
I love
one of
William
the
Regal
low-key best double acts. Yeah, Regal and Tajiri, one of the low-key best double acts in the Attitude Era.
They really
like it's forgotten.
I was listening to a podcast review of his book recently, and it is very, very depressing. He went through some bad shit.
Yeah, he was
real bad drug issues. Really bad drug issues. Yeah, and like he was saying that like for the first like couple of years while he was in the WWF, he just like was not sober at any point.
So he got sacked.
Yeah. He got sacked, went into rehab for a bit. But yeah, really bad time of it. It's worth a read.
I've seen a couple of interviews with him, and I mean, JR says the first meeting he has with Vince McMahon, he falls asleep in the meeting because he's
asleep in his office.
That messed up.
Yeah,
and then
he just got so lucky because he was so good that he would lose a job at WCW, and then he would just give them a call at Stanford and be like, "Hey, can I come up for you?" Yeah, no problem. And they liked him so much.
Well, he made good friends with WCW because he was part of the Blue Bloods with Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
And he really Shane doing the great two-step shimmy, but he kind of looked after Triple H in his early years because Regal had been going out for about 10 years because he was wrestling in all over the UK since he was like 14, 15, right?
Yeah.
And then he was good friends with Steve Austin there, and a lot of people at Mick Foley. So everyone who kind of gone on to better things, he was always nice with them on their way up. Yeah, so. They'd put it because I remember as a kid he's a man, just a man. The vignettes of him in a hard hat. The kid,
the man.
Who is this loser?
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
Honestly, people forget 97, 98 UK fans because we get a lot of the B shows again on Sky One. You get a lot of Tiger Ali Singh. You get a lot of people like Steve Blackman. You get a lot of me, a lot of Sean Stasiak. And a lot of really crap vignettes, and some of these stick out like a sore thumb. But Regal got very lucky given who he's mates with.
I think with the man's man gimmick, I think he was saying when he came back with the man's man gimmick, it was after he like broke his leg in the ring or something, broke his ankle, something like that, and he basically just spent the whole time in bed, even after he'd recovered and he was able to move around. Like he was just in bed. He had some drug that he would take. He would take it, sleep like for an hour, and then wake up, take some more, pass out, sleep, and just the worst. And he just got a call from Vince that, "Are you ready to come back? We got a gimmick." He was like, "Yeah," and he just came back and was still doing the same shit. And that's why I ended up getting fired.
It's crazy.
Being on the road just was not good for him.
No, I do you know what? Weirdly, I've messaged him a few times because he follows my Royal Family page, and he's big into he's big
just
into
to clarify, Royal Family, the TV, the BBC sitcom, not the Royal Family of.
I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything to do with the Windsors or the Royals or the Royal.
I was going to say,
household. Just for clarification, he's a big fan of like old time British comedy, like old 70s, 80s sitcoms, things like Carry On, which he said he kind of fed into his character. Like people wouldn't recognize a lot of the stuff he did in 2001. There was a lot of like Sid James from the Carry On series. There was a lot of Eric Morecambe. But I missed him a few times ago, and I appreciate it because he's liked a few stuff. That's, and it's a way to message you from here. Big fan of yours. And cheers, all love. I appreciate it. Could I ask you a question about that?
Is this the Royal Family show with the puppets?
That spitting image.
Okay, I'm trying.
Royal Family is a family of 4 from Manchester, which is very dry northern humour.
Got it. Got it.
I can definitely resonate with The Rock here at this stage of his hairline. This was, I was just a couple of years before I think he shaved it off in the 2003 run, didn't he?
It's good that he just let it go though, because he actually rocks the really low, almost bald cut really well.
The Rock at like 49 is still like a ridiculously good looking man. I think he's better looking now in my humble opinion than ever. He's
never gonna be good looking though. When you're that good looking, see, but what's the difference between The Rock being exceptionally good looking and HBK being exceptionally good looking?
Rock's a nice guy. He's a nice person.
Okay. That's what you think?
The Rock was good looking then and good looking now. Shawn Michaels is the only reason why I don't shave my head right now.
No, leave him alone, okay? Just leave him alone. He had such beautiful hair, and to lose it, that's a big loss in life, okay? Don't talk about it.
And I'm gonna say it must be those guys with the old long hair, because like Jericho now grows it at the front, doesn't it? And then like sweeps it over, but like what HBK did.
Yeah, I mean the only one who didn't need to cut his hair but cut it was Triple H.
Triple H. And they even made beautiful the old Carney name. It surely should have been an angle somehow. But in the 70s and the 80s, hair matches were huge.
Huge. Yeah, but think about the hair back then. Like everyone had an afro, or like guys really had like a lot of long locks. I mean, in the 90s, I feel like, after the mullet season, thank God, that kind of died off of it.
Are we all excited to see Matt Hardy bald in a few weeks?
I want him off TV. I've got no interest in him on Matt Hardy and Billy Gunn. Get off my TV screen.
I thought Billy Gunn's little promo was pretty good the other week.
Leave Billy off of this. He's performing at a high level.
You're wiggling your pen like a librarian there. You guys pipe down over there.
No, I still like Billy Gunn. Matt needs to get his life together. He needs to switch up the gimmick and just drop the whole family angle. But Billy, I think Billy's
hasn't his missus just had like another kid as well?
Oh yeah, they're popping them out every 18 months.
Matt, go home. You'll make plenty of money on ProWrestlingTees.com. Bring your YouTube videos out. You've got plenty of money from ad revenue there. Just chill at home with the kids. I'm presuming it's good weather in the Carolinas right now. Put your feet up.
Yeah, I feel like his best material is behind him.
Can we just talk about how bad these Shane McMahon punches are?
Oh my God, it's painful to watch.
Do you remember when he came back, right? And did he fight? I don't remember who he fought, but I remember that they were showing these vignettes of him like practicing in the ring for his like comeback
every
match.
time.
And
they look like they don't even
cannot
hurt.
Throw a punch. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. They're about 5 feet away from. It's terrible.
He throws the emptiest punches ever.
Pro wrestling, where you're supposed to make something look like it really hurts and doesn't.
He punches like this. His hand is like this when he punches.
Yeah,
like
it's empty.
Ooh, that doesn't hurt, Shane.
And if you listen to Stone Cold, he said, like, man, Shane, he couldn't throw a working punch to he would genuinely just smash you in the face.
It really
throw a load of potatoes.
Shows when he's in the ring with The Rock, whose work punches are fantastic.
Shane, unpopular. Actually, I think popular opinion, but maybe people don't talk about this enough. Shane is a higher level David Flair.
He's not that bad. He's not that bad.
You don't think he's that bad?
You've no idea how bad David Flair was.
No,
Surely.
I do know how bad Flair was. I watched him in WCW in the late 90s. I think he's a higher level than Flair. It's the same thing, like being pushed because of whose son you are, and it's still not catching.
Did you guys see the video that got a bit of traction on Twitter this week of Ric Flair saying that some guy didn't get fired for being gay? They were like, "Oh, you got fired because you weren't good enough."
So,
you guys see this?
Yeah, I know exactly. It's a guy called Chris Canyon who's arguably one of the
Canyon. That's
workers.
I was going to say that, but I didn't really get the name there. But in one of the things, Chris Canyon was like, "Rick, did you or did you not ask me to train your son?" And it's like, okay, that's not something to prove how good you are. David Flair was
He was a great trainer. He was a great trainer. He worked. He was one of the main trainers on the Ready to Rumble movie.
I'm not saying he's not, but you can't say, you got me to train your son, so I must be something good because he obviously didn't do a good job training him. That was my point anyway. But
but I think he was good. He was good. He was a good trainer. He was good in the ring. I see why he would ask him to train his son.
Yeah. Ric Flair didn't seem like he had a clue what he was talking about in that. I don't know if you've watched it. There's like 5 clips, about 10 minutes in total. And yeah, he just doesn't seem to have a clue what he's on about. He's just been thrown at the deep end. It's like, I don't know the reason, but it wasn't what he said it was. And that was it.
Yeah, that was a tough watch.
The worst bit of it was when he said, you weren't fired for your life choices. It's like, hold up, Rick. No choice.
Well, and his episode of Dark Side of the Ring is coming out this week, so that's it's a lot of build up.
Topical.
Coming up on that.
Yes, that's another 200 followers of my Flair account. Wonderful. I mean, I've got a baby anyway. I need to sell some T-shirts. Rick, just stop talking.
Start a Chris Canyon account now before the fans start flying in.
What's your favourite Chris Canyon promo, JJ?
I'll dig it out for you later. I'll dig it out for you later, mate. It's good.
Do you know what? Again, with any of Conrad's podcasts, and they're talking about somebody who didn't really get over. What's your favourite so much? Couldn't tell you.
Can't say.
Like when I'm doing all these clips, I'm going to send you a clip I'm just posting, which is the greatest people's elbow ever. Do you remember this from WrestleMania 20?
The slide one?
No. It's I'm waiting for it to load, and I'll send the link. But and that's exactly what you mentioned.
Now, Jack, I'm doing a podcast,
and that's what you mentioned, JJ, about Rock's punches. They look great.
Yeah.
And then when you see him up against Julian with Shane McMahon, you go, yeah, that looks bad.
Yeah.
It's like when the Rock can't make you look good.
I'm kind of surprised how much Rock has given Booker here. I thought this might be like a kind of glorified squash match, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. When you're as over as The Rock is, you can allow him to get plenty in and hope that you're going to get the rope just by being in the same ring as him.
Right.
I remember at the time thinking...
I think it worked, though.
You can't... Well, Like going to this match, I think Booker T's not going to beat The Rock. Why? Because The Rock's The Rock. But just sharing a ring with him.
Oh, here we go.
It's enough. Oh, here it is.
Shane obviously has to fly. Teased it.
Today.
I think I'm a few seconds ahead of you guys.
I'm on 148, 47, 48, 49, 50. JJ gives a time check. Where are you?
59, yeah. 149 now. Boom.
One thing I will say in terms of a worker, Shane McMahon, he just gets the shit kicked out of him for, 20, 30 minutes sometimes. And he keeps coming back. Like he definitely has the stamina for it. So even if his abilities aren't that great, oh wait, here's my guy, McPatrick. I love that the refs have different shirts. Sorry, switching subjects. But yeah, I feel like Shane, at least he contributes in that way.
But Shane here is 30 years old. He came back, last year, to late 2019? He was 48. The problem with him then is he looked like a beetroot after about 2 minutes in the ring. Stay in your lane.
The other thing is, like, it's play to your strengths. One of the big things with Shane McMahon is him dancing around the ring, throwing these punches.
Yeah.
Like, that is one of the iconic things that you think about with Shane. It's like, just don't
That's
do
what
that.
you do.
You can't throw a punch. Just take a beating and, you know, perfect a couple of moves and pull them out once in a while. And the rest of the time, just throw yourself off shit. Like, that's where you can do good. He got to.
He comes through, he does the coast to coast. He'll do an elbow off of anything. He'll do his little dance. He gets the shit kicked out of him, and it's a good show.
Can I just say,
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed him being there.
As somebody who holds the big gold belt in such high regard, to see it being just another title here, disgraceful.
No, it was a secondary title here.
Oh my God. What the Nature did to that belt in the late 80s, he would call that the most important trophy in professional sports. Nobody would put that. Why are they now they're suddenly going back to tagging? The two of them been beating each other up as a three.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a no DQ match, right? I mean, I don't understand why the tags.
How can you have a no DQ match and then have somebody stood outside? It's not a no DQ match. It's a handicap.
Nick Patrick's just watched him clock him with the title twice.
It's a handicap match. It's not a no DQ match.
Well, but he smashed him in the face with the title right in front of the referee.
Yeah, but he's wearing a WCW shirt, JJ.
It's Nick Patrick.
Still.
Shane up top. Misses with the elbow drop.
Big sell.
Just make sure we are on the range at 151, 33, 34, 35, 36. Shane just missed with an elbow drop. And he is inching to get Booker T back into the ring.
I love how he customized his shirt to match Booker T. You see the sucker on the back of it?
That was not a very hot tag. That was a very, very cold tag.
Ricky Morton disapproves of your tag. Yeah, look at the rocks. Punches, bang, bang.
This is why everyone loved him. He was just so snappy in the ring, man.
As a baby face, you are supposed to bring fire with your comeback. Huge leap on the double clothesline.
You mean Hulk Hogan style?
I wouldn't have got that far. I wouldn't have
say one good thing about the Hulkster, can you?
Hulk was over. It's just I was a little Hulkamaniac as like a 4 or 5 year old.
I would say one good thing about Hulk Hogan, he has good music. That's it.
Yeah.
Great music.
Shane's going for the Shane O'Mac elbow? Let me track this.
First of all, did you see Shane with the kip up? He was in shape, guys.
Who, Shane?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's a better kip up.
Into a rock bottom?
Yeah.
Spinebuster. You know what's coming next? They're on their feet in Pennsylvania.
Is Pennsylvania Kurt Angle's hometown? Oh
my God, it's Test.
Pittsburgh is the city, and Pennsylvania is the state. Yeah.
Okay. Is Pittsburgh Kurt Angle's home city? That's where we are, right? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Come on, JJ. I have to contribute the Americanisms, otherwise I'm not going to earn my keep.
No, you're right. Okay.
Bradshaw and Test being involved in a rock match. What is going on?
This is a prelude to Bradshaw being the world champion in a few years, right?
It's 3 years away from that, but still.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. This Bradshaw versus the next Bradshaw, night and day.
Right, okay, so now why is Nick Patrick helping The Rock back in the ring?
Because Test leveled him, Test knocked him on the outside, and he wants him in the ring to get pinned. JJ, why are you watching this like a 7-year-old? I don't understand.
I'm just trying to enjoy the moment, Jack. Come on. Mike,
that's what she said. You're getting a geography lesson today. I got one yesterday asking where New Hampshire was. Hampshire? Because Hampshire is a very good. Hampshire's a very good cricket team in England as a county.
Well,
Oh my God, Mike Chioda doing bits.
Wow,
Mike Chioda's over. Let me track this.
Mike Chioda's he's such a badass. Look at him. He's so good.
On the that's what she
Look
said.
Look, he's got this one. 1, 2.
Can I just say, I was like in tears when they
Mike Chioda.
Look at him.
I like the fact that as Mike Chioda's pushed,
laid out.
As Mike Chioda's pushed Patrick out the ring, Patrick pushes him back to keep it in because he knows Booker's about to clock him.
Genius.
True professionals.
And I'd never realized before just how much that Shane McMahon people's elbow was like the Flair one from WrestleMania 20. Rock bottom. There's no referee.
Oh my God, there's no ref.
Hey, is it Earl Hebner?
Oh, of course,
1,
Earl Hebner.
2, 3.
Right. I mean, that's just very Booker because how long was that between the rock bottom and actually getting pinned?
That was The Rock defeating Booker T and Shane McMahon in a handicap match for the WCW Championship 15-24. JJ, give me your star rating prediction from the Oracle, that is Dave Meltzer.
That was very enjoyable, but I feel like in terms of...
In the words of Pat Patterson, there was a lot of
technical wrestling in the ring. Yeah, it was a lot of shit, but I enjoyed it. I would go 3 stars is where I'll set the line up.
Lissy, higher or lower than 3 stars?
Higher.
It was 3.25 stars. That's 1 hour.
Oh, come on. No, it's 2-0 to Lissy.
Is it 2-0?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you went 3.5. Right?
I said 3.5. She said higher. I said 3. This is because I am a harsh critic, and Lissy knows this, so I can just set the line and she'll just say it over every time.
JJ, I held it down for you yesterday though because you weren't here, so I had to be the harsh critic. It's really hard. I commend you, sir.
That. Yeah, I'm the heel of the team. Sometimes you got to start.
You can be the Jerry Lawler of the Stream Man booth. Is your wife younger or older than you?
She's younger.
Yeah, very fits. So the next match on the card is Rhyno.
I was like, I don't want to be Jerry Lawler, and then you asked that question. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The next match is Rhyno defeating. I'm just giving that. Rhyno against Tajiri for the United States Championship.
I wonder who wins. Thanks, Jack. Spoilers.
Oh, don't be like that guy again. Thanks, Jack. Ruining my tennis match.
I just want to clarify, by the way, my girlfriend, my fiance is the official line. She's like 3 years younger, okay? This is not a Jerry the King Lawler and the cat.
AJ's scrambling around. We're going to go track this because it's Tajiri in that Regal's office.
Oh, I love these two together.
I love these 3 together. I love that they paired Tori with them.
Chances. Tajiri's seen Tori Wilson here as well. Unbelievable.
Jack, you've never said chances as chances. You surely say it's chances.
I don't put R's in the middle of words now. Oh.
I love that his office is so British. You see the picture of Her Majesty in the corner. It's a nice touch. Approved.
Yeah, it makes me hate him even more.
I mean, the weird thing about that is that Tajiri, who just come in from ECW, was part of the WWF team at the time.
Who's this?
Oh my God, that's a young Stacy Keibler. Good Lord.
Stacy Keibler.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Lissy is transfixed.
I love Stacy Keibler. Like, obviously, she can't wrestle, but I love Stacy Keibler. I just love her in general.
If we go back to, say, 2003-04, I was besotted with Stacy Keibler.
Lissy, did you ever go to WWF New York?
No, I'm so sad to say I didn't.
11-year-old me was like, that looks like the best place ever. I want to go there. But apparently it was shit.
Oh, I've heard terrible reviews about it.
Food at like over
it was
ridiculous
trashy.
prices. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the words of the Nature by Ric Flair, she was all the way alive there. Wow. Yeah, Stacey, them legs just gone forever. If you're going out with George Clooney for a prolonged period of time, there is no higher, surely, stamp of authority.
Period.
Oh, what a goal! We're just getting a recap here. Rhyno attacking Tajiri on Rock. All this talk about how great Goldberg's spear was Edge's. Man, Rhyno.
No.
People forget that he was a beast.
Nobody does it like Rhyno, even today.
I was never a big fan of Rhyno. I'm not saying I wasn't a fan of Rhyno. I was never a big fan of Rhyno, but I did have a Rhyno t-shirt because in my local charity shop, I found a Rhyno t-shirt and an APA t-shirt when I was about 13, I think. So I was like, okay, I'm getting them. So I had a Rhyno t-shirt, I had an APA t-shirt.
It was incredible how he's brought in as well, because if you remember, it was all part of the triple threat, the TLC match at WrestleMania 17. It was the Dudleys had Spike Dudley in their corner, the Hardys had Lita, and Edge and Christian debuted Rhyno, I think, a few weeks earlier, when Edge and Christian are there backstage going, "Get the Rhyno." What? Get the Rhyno. Got a secret weapon here. And then he turned up and just speared Jeff Hardy out of his boots.
Wasn't it that long ago that Rhyno and Heath Slater were tag champions on WWE?
Yes.
Right?
I'm not going to lie, I have got no memory of that, so fill me in.
That was fantastic. When Heath Slater with his "I've got kids" gimmick, and then
who's Heath Slater?
What? You don't know
NXT.
Heath Slater? He was in the original NXT group. He was in 3MB with Jinder and Drew. He was in the original NXT when Daniel Bryan and Wade Barrett, when they all came in, they came in together.
Ginger, blondie, long hair, your color hair, but he actually had some.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, how do you know this guy?
You got to remember, my wrestling knowledge from the past 10 years is pretty much nothing, bar listening to the What Culture Raw reviews for the last 3 years.
Well, that's
I mean, he definitely would have been mentioned.
I'm watching AEW. I recognize the name. I couldn't tell you who he is or what he does or his character.
What was his gimmick? It's like rock and roll or something. I can't remember.
So Rhyno the Rhyno here was tag champions with another guy for how long?
Not super long time. I mean, no one holds a belt for a long time in WWE these days, but unless you're Roman, obviously. But
it was
they had a little run. It was like the odd couple kind of guys put together.
Yeah, they weren't like a real tag team. They just put the belts on them. They kind of, I think it was just kind of in between.
It was just really entertaining, actually. Yeah.
You know the vibes.
I didn't realize that he actually ran for the Michigan House of Representatives in 2016, narrowly losing as a Republican candidate to Abdullah Hamoud, who got 61% of the vote. So there you go.
Who is this, Rhyno?
Rhyno.
Okay.
Terrence Guerin.
He thought he was going to be the next Jesse Ventura.
No, Kane. Kane has
let
a
me
great
tell you
real
something,
life
Monsoon. And that's another criminally underrated broadcast team.
Who's that?
Jesse the Body Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon in the late 80s were brilliant together.
Are they underrated?
Yes. Massive. Good people don't talk about them.
It's because not as many people watched wrestling in the 80s. I started.
More people watch wrestling in the 80s than any other era, JJ.
Really?
It was the golden age. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Look at the numbers for Saturday night's main event. They were getting 18 million viewers.
Okay, but if you're talking to people now who are wrestling fans now, and you're expecting them to go, "Oh yeah, Gorilla Monsoon, amazing," well, most of them won't have ever seen him ever because they just didn't watch it.
Tori Wilson go over on her ankle. Was that?
No.
Was that a worked sprained ankle?
First of all, she's wearing stripper heels.
Tajiri was fantastic. You know, it's really hard to get over in the WWF if you didn't speak a lot of English, but he managed it.
Is it not weird that
Did he speak any English?
There you go.
I think he could speak English. He just kayfabed it a lot.
It was a gimmick, yeah. Maybe.
All right.
The Anaconda stretch, the tarantula.
But he was just so memorable without ever speaking, really.
Didn't need to. Yeah, exactly. But is it not weird that of all the people WCW brought in, the two that will probably push more than anyone else, well, that's probably not weird, Torrie Wilson and Stacey Keibler, who had longer runs than pretty much anyone by what, Booker?
Yeah, Booker.
And they can still come back today if they wanted to.
I mean,
Did Torrie not come back?
Are you talking only people that came in during the invasion angle, right?
Yeah, 2001 in the invasion.
Torrie's participated in like the women's rumble and stuff like that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Rhyno wins the WCW United States Championship to no reaction. To no reaction.
This is the problem.
Cares.
There's so many belts that no one gives a shit.
And the thing is,
this has gone on after the
match is a title match.
If you knew how lofty that belt was held in regard and say 1985, Magnum TA beats Tully Blanchard, become the United States Heavyweight Champion in an I Quit steel cage match to one of the loudest pops in Starrcade history. Rhino's just won the belt to crickets in the semi-main event of the pay-per-view.
No one cares.
Is there a women's match between these?
You just presume that WWE style, but there's normally a 3-minute filler match.
No, I thought I remembered one.
No, that was Rhyno Tajiri.
It was only 30 minutes left. Yeah.
So
it's actually funny. I kind of forget the time in Stone Cold's life when he and Deborah were married.
I think Steve was people forget. If there's a dark side of the ring about Stone Cold, there'll be some stuff coming out of him.
This, I mean, Kurt Angle was basically the number 2 babyface in the company at this point, behind The Rock, right?
Pretty much on a par, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously with like 9/11, he was the red, white, and blue hero.
Yeah, and ever since kind of The Rock, so The Rock, after The Rock got beat at WrestleMania 17, and he went away. Kurt Angle was positioned as the next guy in line. Obviously, Stone Cold was the man. They tried to make the 2-man power trip, which was Austin and Triple H, had a brief feud with Jericho and Benoit, and they were trying to make them two, but Kurt was the next guy. It's just interesting, ever since, say, 1999, ever since The Rock and Stone Cold had their program going into WrestleMania 15, the WWF always made sure to keep them away from each other. Like the two of them were that big and that much on their own different, I suppose, parallel universes, that they were just never programmed against each other. And so for people out there, we're seeing a promo package building up to the main event. I don't remember any of this stuff happening.
Austin threw Kurt Angle's medals into the river.
I remember the river stuff. I definitely remember him like throwing the medals.
So there's Stone Cold and Kurt Angle on some bridge somewhere. Stone Cold's crying.
Blindfolded.
This is so weird.
Stone Cold doesn't cry.
You're growing up with Stone Cold in the Attitude Era. What the fuck is this?
These two had such great chemistry. I remember there was a spot where I remember something in the back where they're like wearing cowboy hats and shit, and Austin's singing, and I just remember thinking it was fucking hilarious. Austin and Angle were so funny together. They had fantastic chemistry. But Austin as a heel didn't work.
People just want to cheer him. He's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jack, was Triple H hurt at this time?
He did his quad in again, during this period, there was a 2-man power trip, Stone Cold and Triple H. And they were the two dastardly heels of the company. And it was in a match, I want to say May 2001, I think it was Fully Loaded. Triple H did his quad and like completely ripped it in a match with Benoit and Jericho. Still finished the match, unbelievably enough. and then he was out until. Did he not return at Madison Square Garden in January 2002? They always talk about the Triple H MSG pop.
Yeah.
And then he won the Royal Rumble and then headlined WrestleMania against Jericho. So he did this injury in around May, so he kind of took Austin a different route. And then, he came back in January.
You suck. Oh, there was a really awkward bit at the start of this pay-per-view where Michael Cole goes and sits with Kurt Angle's mum and dad and
So
brother.
awkward.
And he's like, oh, are you really excited for the main event tonight? And his mum is just...
she's like,
she has no
I'm
charisma at all.
Little known fact, this is the same music the Patriot used to come out to as well back in the day.
Yeah. He stole it. Outrageous. Brilliant, though. I loved how when he came back to WWE for his last run, the fans loved him, but they still sang "You Suck." Just like,
yeah,
it was so cool because everyone knew it was like, okay, yeah, we're.
But by that time, it was like a term of endearment.
Really love you.
It's still really strange to see Kurt Angle with hair, given what he's been Paul for 20 years.
That last run of his in WWE was
tattoo?
tough to watch. Like he could not really move around, could he?
One of the best matches
you actually watched, Jack.
One of the best matches I ever saw live was TNA in 2007. It was Kurt Angle. I think it was Kurt and Samoa Joe main event.
Right. In the UK.
Yeah, it was in the Olympia building, which ROH ran.
Okay.
In 2006 when it was Danielson against Nigel McGuinness. Oh, God, one of the greatest matches of all time. Oh, you two got so much to. If we go through the Ring of Honor archives, and with JJ, you've got it.
I was watching Ring of Honor back then.
But JJ being such a Danielson guy, Danielson's title run between 2005 and 2006 is the greatest modern day title reign in history. In the words of Lissy, period.
Period.
And I don't know what that means, but I've heard it a lot on American TV.
Is that period with a T?
That's it.
Period with a
no,
what?
we should do. You know what we should do? We should pick out like a few matches from that reign, right? Watch them, and then just like talk
this
about
week.
it.
This week, 15 years ago, Glory Banner 5 Night 2 in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Kenta against Danielson. 5-star match. 4-star and 3/4. Danielson becomes the first man to kick out of the Go to Sleep in North America.
Don't ruin it.
You know, there's no spoilers.
There is. I haven't seen it.
All right.
Now you have.
Danielson is wrestling with a dislocated shoulder, and it's just cuts a promo beforehand saying, you know, I could forfeit this belt, but you know what? Pain is temporary, and pride lasts forever. Yes, Dragon. JJ, are you excited? Are you excited?
Beyonce was expecting there to be any left in that bottle.
Yeah, she's fine. JJ, are you excited for tomorrow? Danielson Omega?
Cool. Of course I'm excited for tomorrow. Mate, this whole week of wrestling is great. Well, this whole week of AEW.
Yeah, well, correct. Yeah.
Are you going to stay up and watch it late?
I don't think so. Right. I mean, exciting to my life. Wednesday is often my night with the baby. So if she wakes up anywhere around 1:30, 2, it's 2 a.m. it starts here. So it'll be 2 a.m. till 4 a.m. She wakes up anytime around then, I'll tune in. If she wakes up around 3, perfect, because then I can put it on and skip the ads. That's the dream. But even at 6 weeks, well, actually, she's 7 weeks on Wednesday tomorrow, and she's like sleeping through the night. She'll go to sleep at like 11 and sleep through till like 7. It's ridiculous. It's unheard of. Jack, when yours arrives, this will not happen. So don't think this is the norm.
If the boy arrives and he doesn't behave, then he'll be getting a severe dressing down. We don't take all this nonsense. I'll just go full Roy Keane on him.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Please
I've got some pillows right here next to me on the sofa. This is the area where I practice wrestling moves on Seb. That's my older one. He's almost 2. Already started him out. And he's got a nice little turnbuckle in the corner here to jump off of onto me.
Turnbuckle.
You've got to do it. He's going to start learning sequences and stuff.
Sequences.
Yeah.
Drop down, tackle, hip toss.
Great. We've got a lovely little corner sofa. Perfect for it.
Oh, that was it. For us, it'd be like taking all the cushions off, putting it on the floor, and then it was just
Oh yeah. Go.
Macho Man elbow drops. Sleep at home.
My sisters and I used to pretend to be like Team Extreme with the three of us, the three younger ones of us. We were all, yeah, exactly. I was Jeff, my sister Riki was Matt, and my youngest sister was Lita. It was ridiculous. That couch did not stand a chance.
Oh, it should do.
I used to spend a lot of weekends at my cousin's house, and my cousin, basically, he was a few years older than me, and he took over his dad's garage because he was mad into mechanics. But his garage had like downstairs area, had an upstairs area, and he had a load of friends like in the little cul-de-sac that he lived on. We made a 24/7 championship, and like the main matches would take place on his dad's bed, which was massive, right? But if you weren't in that area, you could be like on the top of the garage, in the bottom of the garage, in the back garden, out on the street, and people would like be going for the 24/7 title all the time. It was scary because I was like the youngest guy, but it was a lot of fun.
My first bones being broken were playing on a Sunday afternoon. I remember it very vividly. The guy who lived like 2 doors up, like a couple of years older than me, and I've climbed on top of the shed to do an elbow drop in him. You're not going to move, I promise won't move.
Not the shed.
Jump off the shed, elbow drop, he moves, land straight on that, break my arm. He runs off inside the fear that he's in trouble. And I'm just there shouting my mum, Mom! Mom! I told you not to mess around. Oh, they got that. Well, it's your own fault. Please.
And you wonder why she comes over to Gibraltar and pisses you off now. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Fair. Karma is a bitch. Never mind.
Okay. Well, there were
Lissy.
never any broken bones in the Almeida house due to wrestling. So
wow.
don't try this.
I mean,
at home.
to be fair, same. I never broke anything due to wrestling. Mine were always due to football. That's proper football, not
Rugby.
American football.
If you look at that scar there, that's from having my steel plate in there playing rugby. At Victoria Stadium, I broke that actually.
Wow.
Good memories.
Yeah. Only a few months until I can take my kid down to Victoria Stadium, get him playing some rugby. I start him at 2 years old. It's incredible.
JJ, why don't we get you? We can make you into a rugby player. The Sharks need new players. Season starts next week.
Never. Is it Union?
Yes.
No.
Why? Uni is less savage than league.
I don't mind taking the hits. Union's just boring. I want to do league.
Union, I don't really.
I want to run around and smash into people. That's all I want to do.
Kurt flipping the double birds.
Wow. He's gone rogue.
Kurt could throw a hell of a working punch.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong seeing Stone Cold getting stomped on and just ripped apart. It's not right, is it? Listening
to Jim Cornette critique the Pac v Andrade match, he said, "Do you know what happened? How it started? These two have been wanting to get at each other for 6-7 weeks. They start throwing forearms against each other, and then Cornette goes off on a brand. I don't agree with the lot he says. He's probably right there. Start the lockup. Start punching each other. What's going on? And when you see people like The Rock or Kurt throw a great working punch, that I think, why doesn't it happen anymore?
Because it's less violent now, Jack.
Less violent.
Violence.
Oh,
I think isn't that word banned? Isn't that on the list? Violence.
and WWE
You just made the list. What do you make of people taking championship replica belts to wrestling shows?
Nonsense.
Well, as someone who goes to a lot of wrestling shows with someone who carries replica belts, Hydron, I can't say anything. I just can't.
Your face says more than words ever could.
I can't. No, that's my bestie.
likely to
I have to
this?
support.
Now,
Say
Is the
again?
person likely to watch this? Will that person watch this podcast ever?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Hey,
He's
good
an
job.
avid watcher.
so we're going to clip this up and quote and stick this on socials and say, wow, Lissy Almeida basically thinks people who turn up to wrestling events with championship belts are nonsense.
No.
And if you don't know what a nonce is, search for a guy called Clinton Baptiste. And, does the word nonce mean anything in America?
No, I only know
Good.
what it is because I know from, the time that I've spent in London. So
Now, I'm
Trust
getting
me.
the word nonce.
no.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it doesn't literally mean that as well. Like,
Yeah, it just means you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
just a bit strange.
It's a bit of a dick. Yeah,
Just
not
strange behaviour.
something
It's not
not
even
quite
like
right.
you're a bad person. It's not even like, but it's just like strange behavior of one type or another. It can be anything.
Yeah.
What I will do, on the Max and Paddy's page, I just have to send a picture of somebody doing the Clinton, but do that or the, and you know what the scene is, and people know, yeah, it's because you're acting weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Is that your British accent?
Now we touched.
No, I
I
just
remember
Got it,
Full Brawl.
governor.
Was it Full Brawl when we mentioned how great the tuxedos were. No, like they're just way too underdressed. Jim Ross doesn't even
Oh,
look
big
like Jim
back
Ross.
body drop, reversal from Stone Cold onto the concrete floor.
Oh,
What's
Stone Cold is
busted
busted
open
open.
here?
yeah, but Jay Heyman, like he always his hair was long back then too, which is kind of weird. But
Am I right
he's
thinking
still bald.
I mean, you're used to Paul Heyman looking scruffy, but JR just doesn't
Yeah.
look right. Just wearing a jumper, like just weird.
Yeah. It's just it was a different time. Within 3-4 years, things changed a lot.
And you know what as well? The Spanish announce guys, there's a guy there with the chain around his neck.
He looks like The Rock.
Hilarious.
He looks like
So
the picture of The
funny.
Rock at, like with his bum bag. Sorry, fanny pack.
It's like non-uniform day at school.
Yeah. The camera is froze on Lissy, making a really unimpressed face. You are like the meme of the girl going,
Yeah, this is frozen here.
and that is the look on. I've got to keep going with this. That is the look of on the face of. I showed my missus the video of somebody voicing Dusty Rhodes' Hard Time promo, voice like Morgan Freeman.
Right.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. And she's looking at me like,
Daddy.
Jack, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I think it's really funny.
Does she not understand that it's an iconic promo?
Unfortunately, not.
Does your missus have any interest in wrestling at all? Like, will she,
Not
if you go,
in-
babe, look, this match is really great, come sit and watch it?
Because I was like popping my tits off at that certain video. She paused.
Right.
We're watching the last episode in series 5 of This Is Us. She paused it, going, "Fine, play it." No, not anymore. I won. You put Hard Times on Jack Milner, baby. Oh, shut up, let's play.
What about Total Divas? Would she sit down and watch that with you?
I don't think she knows what Total Divas is, but she has no interest whatsoever.
That wouldn't be her kind of TV.
Yeah, it probably would be. Like she'll watch some of the Essex Girls on ITVB and stuff.
There you go. That's how I got. Well, I'm not saying I got my missus into wrestling because I haven't, but it gives her some reference points. You know, when I say Daniel Bryan, or I can even say Brian to her because she actually understands. Hey, welcome back.
Lissy, your face froze on you making the most memeable face in the world. Is you going?
Great.
It's going to be our new profile picture on Twitter.
I knew it. It's going to be plastered everywhere tomorrow. I hate it here.
You're going to make the thumbnail, so congratulations.
We were just talking about our attempts to get our missus into Twitter. Wrestling. So I was saying that I started watching Total Divas with my fiance, and it didn't get her into wrestling, but it's given her a reference point. So like when I say, "Oh, Rusev has gone to this new company," she's like, "Oh, I know him. Like he's done this," and like I can talk to her about Daniel Bryan, and she has opinions about Cena and stuff like this. So
You're so
it's kind
smart.
of, there's a little bit there, but yeah.
Jack,
she turned
what
to
have
me
you
today
done?
and she was going, what do you even talk about on your podcast? Is it football? I was like, no. Like, this is how little she takes an interest in the things that I do outside of taking care of children. She didn't even know it was about wrestling. She was like, football, poker, wrestling. That's going to be one of the 3 things I do.
I love this.
You're missing a hell of a match, by the way.
Sorry, should pay attention.
Stone Cold against Kurt Angle. Lissy, track it for the viewers, all 7 of them at home, please.
Yes, of course. I'm at 225, 21, 22, 23.
Is
that Karen? Jack, was that Karen Angle?
I had to fast forward 20 seconds to catch up with you, to be honest.
Oh, sorry.
I think you were way ahead of us, so we've just had to... Was it, Karen, now Jarrett?
Hey, I'm speaking in that present time.
No, I mean, I'm just, again, a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes is probably more interesting than...
That was such a mess.
How Karen and Kurt Angle divorced and suddenly she started seeing Jeff. Yeah.
And Jeff's wife had just passed away. And
of course she died of cancer, didn't she?
Yeah. And then there was, they just made it part of the storyline. It was a lot.
You couldn't get anything more carny than that from the wrestling industry.
No.
The guy runs off and the man's like, oh, goddamn, pal, we're going to make it into a storyline.
Similar to the Edge and Matt thing, though, with Lita.
Well, Matt actually Matt got sacked and then he spent the summer working absolute bangers in Ring of Honor. That was one of the first matches they got Roderick Strong over. God, wow. That's 16 years ago. Roddy's in NXT. Yeah, and then Roddy ended up becoming for the next level. He wrestled in 3 amazing series with Danielson, and him and Austin Aries won the tag titles and had pretty much I think they were tag champions for like a year with the final battle and lost them to Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli, who you now know as Cesaro.
I loved him in Ring of Honor. I'm so sad that carry over.
From the United Banks of Switzerland. What?
Remember, he's like take the fold up chair, bring it into the ring with him, step on it,
and then put the chin lock on. Tremendous heat.
I'm pretty sure that any one of the 100 people watching this show know who Claudio Castagnoli is.
If you go back and watch Claudio even back then, he was so good.
It was so good. I loved him.
I don't remember Earl Hebner ever doing a count from outside the ring.
He's never done anything in WWE. How has that happened? He's ridiculous.
Honestly, I'm surprised he's still there.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Have you read the Bryan Danielson thank you to WWE that was posted today?
Yes.
No.
It was very good. He couldn't speak any higher, and he said he wants to work with such young guys. But I have got no ill feeling. Thank you for them for the last 11 years. You know, my stardom and my popularity reached peaks I couldn't even dream of. But wish them all the best, and I'm going to go and have fun with these guys over here.
That's pretty much what he said in the scrum afterwards, right? No, that he loved it there, exactly. But he just wanted to do something else. It's not.
But it was.
I was saying that's the biggest compliment that AEW can have. Is it wasn't even like he's disgruntled to the place. It was like.
But you get.
It's kind of cooler right now.
Yeah, but he's not stupid either. He's keeping that bridge open. I mean, think about his wife is Brie Bella. She has a very strong relationship. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She has a very strong relationship with the WWE. So, he doesn't want to necessarily burn any bridges either, because I could see him coming back around in a few years too.
But I don't even think it's that. I think well, partly that, but it is genuine as well. He obviously enjoyed his time there.
It's genuine.
He main evented WrestleManias. It's not anything like, oh, I don't want to burn any bridges, so I'll be nice. I believe everything.
No, it's genuine, but also it's relationship management. He's not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He's not trying to bury them. He's not going to go there and bash them like done.
But you mentioned about why is Cesaro not gone anywhere? He's making good money. He has a nice lifestyle there.
Of course.
He'll probably go in a few years once his contract's up and he wants to go do a bit more. Let the boys earn as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like a sportsman going to a massive sports team. Yeah, you get a pay rise, but you also get the chance to win the biggest prizes in the sport. And it's like
Right.
guys just
Jack
seem to go
Grealish
to
going to Man
WWE
City.
now. Yeah, guys just go to WWE now, and it's like I don't know. It just feels like they never really get the opportunity. They just don't build these stars anymore. We've got these massive names. We've got so many incredible people.
Yeah, they have a lot of
It's like,
talent.
but still, you bring
Just
back Kurt Angle 2 years ago, and he's going to get a bigger pop than Cesaro, who you've had there for what 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and you've done nothing with him. You've not spent that time building him into someone that in 10 years people are going to want to go, I want to see Cesaro back. No one's going to think that. No one's going to care. Like in the sort of mainstream WWE audience, only people that have seen him in Ring of Honor and like know what he's done will care. And it's just like you've just wasted this incredible talent that you've had.
It's going off on a massive tangent, but you know how people have been brought, people from like 10 years ago had mini runs, like a Dolph Ziggler can come back, or like John Morrison came back to do some pop. Who are they going to be bringing back in 10 years' time for a nostalgia pop? They don't get anyone over at the minute.
John Cena.
But bear in mind, the likes of John Morrison and Shelton Benjamin and MVP, okay, they're nostalgia pops, but they're not on the level that Kurt Angle or Shane McMahon or whatever were.
But my point is, in 10 years' time, JJ, they're going to struggle to bring people back just for that little short-term spike.
I mean, no, but
there's no next round.
A Cesaro is the same as a John Morrison, like anything like that. There's no one since around this time we're watching now that has been anything.
I mean, really. Guys, they're still bringing Goldberg round for God knows what. Okay. So they're literally scraping the bottom.
They had Kurt Angle who could barely move like 2 years ago.
Oh my God!
Comebacks and working matches
But you know what? Honestly, he had a really good match against Chad Gable, and I feel like they had a good, true wrestling match. I enjoyed that. That was really the last match.
Chad Gable.
I love him.
I don't watch WWE, right?
He's another one. I don't understand how Chad Gable is not like one of the biggest things in the wrestling business. I watch him and I'm like, this guy is fucking incredible.
No,
and he's the only one left who like.
Why did they call him Shorty G? Is he still Shorty G now?
Don't ask me that. It's stupid.
Because as you guys say, it's stupid. There's no reason.
Bloody stupid, love.
So my favourites over the last sort of 5 to 10 years, I guess, have been Punk, Bryan, Neville / Pac, and
I got into JJ.
Chad Gable.
Straps are down. That means business.
So Chad Gable's the only one left that needs to go to AEW and actually be used well. All right, straps down. Let's do this shit.
Ankle slam. He's on ankle slam.
I mean, I don't know who wins here, but I mean, I could guess based on the timeline and the situation.
Do you know what? It sounds really critical. I hated Earl Hebner's counts because you could always tell when he was. I thought he made it more obvious than others because it'd be. Whereas like a Mike Chioda would just bang the mat regardless. Boom, boom. When it was a noise recount, because Earl started the count really slow. I always remember in the Hell in a Cell match, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, it took him about 15 seconds to count 3.
Oh, painfully slow.
He was like dead.
This has been a pretty long match now. They've gone over 20 minutes.
Long as hell.
Yeah, let's track it because Austin is taking control. There's only 3-4 minutes left. And I love the touch with Kurt's singlet here with the gold on the side.
Pile driver.
Oh, Terry Funk-esque pile driver.
He'd done that to him on the concrete outside on a Raw a few weeks ago.
Well, you guys have to think this is on the heels of 9/11. Kurt was the American hero.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying I'm pretty sure I know which way this match is going to go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my arms look so wide.
They are very wide.
I'm sorry. They are.
I've actually got a bit of a farmer's tan, but from that side.
Yeah.
So go lay out and do the other side now.
I think I have to. Although the forecast, it starts raining from like now in Gibraltar.
Yeah, this is the end of our summer.
The next 3 days.
As me and Jack get.
Well, you know, I live in Miami, so it's always summer here.
All right.
It's
And you always
always
have a tan, 'cause
this is.
You're from Cape
Ankle
Verde.
lock. I don't think the crowd could, but if I remember this correctly, I remember the crowd.
He was basically on the ropes. I don't understand why he tapped. That was so stupid.
But there was like a pause because I don't think the crowd believed he was going to win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I
And
mean,
like you said, his hand was on the apron.
He was literally there.
You're right, by the way.
Yeah.
That is Karen. That is his wife.
Yeah, and his mum.
I mean, when your arm's under the rope, technically that's a break, right?
Yeah, you're correct. But that never actually never happens in WWF. Like, I feel like they only invoke that when they need to.
And the Pittsburgh PA crowd has gone, well, the wife's in the ring.
Is that okay? Right.
I do think it's quite ironic as well. Karen Angle with the most Karen hairstyle as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
I say nothing.
If you damn charge me for those extra fries, if you promised me them for free. If I remember correctly, this image was him in the ring afterwards was used on so many video promos afterwards.
Who's that coming down?
Pardon?
Who's that coming down to
The Rock.
With him? I was thinking it was The Rock, but I was like, why? Okay. It's a feel-good USA moment, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
The Rock's a big, but The Rock, you've got Undertaker down. All the baby faces are in.
Okay. Lita's there, Hardy Boys, Spike Dudley.
This is such a USA moment.
Prince Albert.
But the thing was, this is what used to happen. Like, you think Brett WrestleMania 10, when Sting won the belt, Great American Bash against Flair in 90, and Luger won the belt in 97 against Hulk. That was always tradition. The baby faces fill the ring. Dusty against Flair, Greensboro, July 26, 86.
There's the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Oh, wow, yeah.
1, 2, 3 kid.
I was listing world title wins there, JJ, and you said the 1, 2, 3 kid, I think. And it goes off the air with Kurt on the turnbuckle with the classic Eagle, probably second best world title behind the Winged Eagle.
Second.
And the crowd going ballistic. So,
speaking of the 1, 2, 3 kid, did you guys see X-Pac said on a podcast this week? He was coming back from injury and he was working to get back in time for the Royal Rumble.
This year?
He'll be back on WWE TV next year. 100%.
Do you think? I mean, he's in great shape.
Who's his best mates?
Yeah.
Come on. Shawn, Hunter, Nash.
Put it up.
But I mean, he's not been in the WWE ring for like 20 years, right?
Bro.
No.
Business, bro.
Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, you guys know he's the baby of the group. He's actually the youngest. He's younger than Jericho.
Yeah, well, he was like 20. I'm sure he was 22 when he wrestled Brett on Raw. That was
he was
93?
94,
he could probably still go if he's in shape and sober.
Big if.
I mean, he's another one that's gone bald.
There you go. Sean Waltman is 49 years old.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right, Lissy, you're going for
we need to do the Dave Meltzer rating.
Lissy, you're going for the hat trick. Kurt Angle beats Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give us your star rating, please.
I'm gonna say 4 stars.
4 stars for Lissy. JJ, gonna go higher or lower?
I want to say the same, but I guess I get nothing for a pair.
Nothing for a pair?
Not in this game.
Thanks, Lissy. Thanks for playing.
I think it's 4 stars because you said earlier another match also got 4 stars.
Well, Lissy got first dibs, but it was 4 stars, so it's 3-0, Lissy.
I've been shafted here. I'm not having this. Right, next time you're going down.
And
what do I win?
You win. I'll send you a Ric Flair t-shirt. The value of them have gone declined dramatically in the last week. For those wanting to know the rest of the card, which you missed, the fatal 4-way tag match that opened was 3 1/4 stars. Perry Saturn versus Raven was 1 3/4. Edge versus Christian was 3. and Kane and the Undertaker versus Kronik was 2 stars. So we saved the best, arguably the best 4 matches for the review. Lissy, you gave the Monday Night Raw episode from September the 22nd, 97, I think an A-. What do you give WWF Unforgiven 2001?
This is a B+.
B+. A bit like, was that not what Bryan Danielson was called? You'll always be a B+ player. JJ, B+, you're shaking your head.
I'm annoyed because as soon as I'm not around, she starts handing out A's like it's nothing. No, we don't do that.
She was going to go an A. She was going to go an A and she held it back a little.
No, come on. It's just an episode of Raw. Can't have been that good. I'll tune in tomorrow and I'll check it out with you guys, but I'm not happy. Right, Unforgiven 2001. The main event was good. And I've always said, if you go off hot, you get a good rating from me. The Jericho match was excellent. The start was kind of trash, but I've forgotten about that now. There was some nice promo segments in between. I'm going to go 3.5 stars overall.
3.5 stars?
Yeah.
KJ, you get a consistent system. You used to do X out of 10. Now it's the stars.
All right. 3.5 times 2.
7.
7 out of 10. There you go.
Still a harsh critic.
I'm trying to work out. I think
But I can't be consistent at this point.
Am I not the guy that gives it out of 10?
You haven't done anything. You just ask us questions.
I give us 9 out of 10 for the Raw yesterday. Like that was a.
You did. You gave a good. No,
What
you
about
said an
me?
A.
I've missed one of the best shows of all time. That's incredible. I can't believe it.
And that was another member of the clique, but yeah, we digress. I'm going to give. I mean, yes, I thought that was. I'm with you about a 7.5 out of 10. If I was to give this, I'd likewise. I think a B+, maybe a B. I think reading the reviews, the first 2 matches weren't great. I saw a little bit of Edge and Christian, like it's skippable. There's no real reason for them to be fighting. There's no heat there. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. I think with you.
I want you to know 7.5 is a C.
In what rating?
75 is a C.
If you go on a date with a guy and you report him back to your girlfriends, and you tell him he's a C, what was it? 7.5 out of 10. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I operate in 8 and up, so I don't know that.
Let me just say, if you go to university in the UK and you get 70 or above, that's a first.
That's a first, baby.
That's max you can get.
And you're looking at somebody who got a 2. So we digress. But enough about my education. 7.5 out of 10. Nothing spectacular. The problem was a lot of the bloom was off the rose by here, and you can kind of tell that. But we'll find out as we delve deeper into 2001. I think we're going to look at the Survivor Series winner take all match in around 2 months' time. But in the meantime, is there anything you two are looking forward to from our upcoming schedule? Do you need me to whip it out?
We don't need to whip it out, but you can tell us the schedule if you want.
I mean, we shouldn't really be making jokes of that the past week, but cheers for that.
We got a couple of World Championship wrestling from 1985 and 1986 up next.
October 4th, 1986 next week, which is.
So, I mean, we got a week off. Are you giving us a week off, Jack? Hey, where are we? 22nd.
No, I think we're going to get a lot in the can, don't worry. But October 12th, 85 is it's the first week Flair is on TV after breaking Dusty Rhodes' leg in the Omni. And the crowd heat is insane. Him and the Andersons, Arn Anderson. Happy birthday, Arn Anderson. He was 63 yesterday, although he's looked 40 for the last 40 years. Rick and Arn break Dusty's leg, and he comes on TV and just spits fire at Tony Schiavone, a very young stash-wielding Tony Schiavone and David Crockett. So it's a great show. I'm hoping to watch a lot more 80s NWA with the pair of you, and I think you'll enjoy it. If you like AEW, which is basically molded around Jim Crockett Promotions and Mid-South Wrestling, you'll love this stuff.
Yeah. So we've got those coming up. We've got a Monday Night Raw from 98 where McMahon 316 says, I just pissed my pants. And we've got a Halloween Havoc 96 coming up. So
Halloween 96 is Roddy Piper's return to wrestling. He comes and faces I think Hogan wrestles in the main event, and then the bagpipes play, and Piper comes, and Hogan looks like he's just seen the ghost. I've made many memes out of the closing segment from that, but I think we're going to add a few bits and pieces more. I think, Lissy, you'll agree, having watched Raw from September 97, I'm happy watching a lot more of those old Raws because they were a lot of fun.
It's a must.
I started when I first got the network a few years back. I started watching from the Raw after the Montreal Screwjob. Basically, it was the start of the Attitude Era. I started watching from there onwards, and so I've watched through a lot of those Raws. So that was a few years ago now. So yeah, they're good. It's an entertaining watch. It's always entertaining.
There's a lot going on.
Fly by. Yeah.
All right. Well, fingers crossed. In the meantime, many thanks for watching. I think we've gone from 7 to 9 in the last hour. And in the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And from Jack Milner, John Jacobs, and Lissy Almeida, we will see you soon.